about y'all, but I feel like I've been lied to, because the best part of waking up is not Folgers in your cup, it's definitely Final Fantasy in your cup. Yeah, I am so dumb. Anyway, I just woke up and I got some great news that Final Fantasy Tactics has all sorts of new updates, including a new game plus. And I want to tell you all about it, and that's definitely worth a sub as you come and you join a party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for your sub, your like, and your brand new hype. It helps me out a ton. I'm over here trying not to laugh at my really stupid joke. I don't know. I think that I'm hysterical. I don't know. I talk to myself all day long and I crack myself up. I don't know. Anyway, so this has all sorts of new things. The major thing to me is a new game plus has been added. This was never in the original version of the game, so this is amazing. And it allows you to start with your unit levels, your item data, and more carried over from a previously completed playthrough, and I will go over everything that is carried over. Unfortunately, though, the actual story battles, their levels have not actually been adjusted to compensate for the new game plus. If you do like encounter monsters or whatever, just like in the normal game, those levels, the monster levels, will be adjusted to match your character's levels, but the story battles with the humans will not be adjusted, if that makes sense. There's also a Zodiac compatibility function that has been added, so you can really check and see the Zodiac signs. I remember, I should go get it. I remember the strategy guide that came with it. Let me go grab that. Okay, I'm back. So this is falling apart. Oh my gosh, it's falling apart. I don't think that anybody's strategy guide actually is still in working order. I feel like this strategy guide fell apart, and my Breath of Fire 3 strategy guide completely fell apart, but like yikes. I actually have some of the pages stapled together. It's just like, it's terrible. It's so bad. But hopefully some of y'all's stayed together. Mine did not. I used it all the time. It had this affinity chart inside the strategy guide, as you can see here, and it was like them trying to explain it, but they still couldn't really explain it all that well because it is pretty complex. Like, they went on and on and on about it with these two little charts and everything else and all this verbiage and everything, but still very complex. But now they have added in a pretty user-friendly Zodiac compatibility chart there for y'all to look at, which is really, really nice. Zodiac compatibility isn't something that I took too much time or too much thought into. I pretty much just chose the right one for Ramza and then just moved on with my life, didn't really worry about it for anybody else. They've also added some quality of life features, such as the ability to remove all equipment just at, 1 point, so that's great for, Argus and Delita. So there's also like the ability to check the status of a unit, being able to really see what jobs unlock other jobs, zooming the camera has been fixed, maintaining the auto proceed toggle is there, and another fun one, the ability to make sure that whenever you're casting a spell or pulling off a skill, that they say their little incantation, that it will be guaranteed that they say their little saying, you know what I mean? So that's really, really, really cool. I really do like that. They've added in some other languages. They added in simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, and Korean. I'm actually really surprised that those weren't already in there. So yeah, and then just some other like overall improvements here and there. So, the producer of Final Fantasy Tactics actually came onto Twitter and he spoke about this at length of why he wanted to do this. So this is from Matsuno himself. He says, New Game Plus was a feature that I've been requesting since the very beginning of the remaster project. So he always wanted this. This isn't something that just like came out of the blue. He's always wanted this. With so many guest characters in the game, I felt that they did not have enough opportunities to shine during a single playthrough. Oh, man. Hallelujah, Matsuno, I've got to say, because, like, you get so many in, like, Chapter 4, right at the end of the game. In the first game, my god, you got Cloud, and then you, like, beat the game. You know what I mean? So this is such a fun way to go through the game and use all those named characters, really utilize their special abilities and stuff, and utilize new strategies. Not that you really need that many new strategies because they don't really level scale. I think that it would be really cool if they came with another update where they said, hey, do you want the story to level scale with you, or do you want it to stay so you just like cream the enemies? Like, which one would you rather have? I think that that would be a really good option to put in there as well. He says, however, due to budget and development resource constraints at the time, the feature was ultimately postponed. But now it is here because the game surpassed 1 million copies. Yeah, it says the game surpassed 1 million copies sold shortly after launch and has continued to perform well ever since. That is great, great, great news. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorite tactical RPGs of all time. I think it's like the gold standard of strategy RPGs. I really do. I think that it just beats everything else out of the water. So to see it performing so well just makes me really, really, really happy that hopefully we will get another Final Fantasy Tactics. We'll get a Final Fantasy Tactics 2. We will get something else. We might even receive something like Tactics Advance collection or something else like that. I feel like them putting and leaving Final Fantasy Tactics on the table is doing a disservice to the franchise, as well as doing a disservice to the fans as well, because it is such a good game and they could do so much more with it. We've seen how well they did with Triangle Strategy, and doing that HD 2D style for a Final Fantasy Tactics 2 would be absolutely amazing. Or, you know, just using the Final Fantasy Tactics art style that's already there and then making that into a Final Fantasy Tactics 2. I would love that. So I'm really happy that it sold very, very, very well. It says, although it took time to bring this feature to fruition, I am truly delighted that it's finally become a reality. Above all, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the producers and the entire development team for their dedication and hard work. I'd also like to extend my deepest thanks to all the fans who have supported the game over the years. So this, again, is great, and we know that they're doing one Final Fantasy game per year. And next year's Final Fantasy is going to be Part 3 Revelation. But what comes after that? Is it already time for 17? Or could we possibly receive an Advanced Collection or a Tactics 2? What else is on the table? Because, you know, we know that they experimented with this with Tactics Ogre, and apparently Tactics Ogre did pretty well because then we got Final Fantasy Tactics. So hopefully we will be receiving more. So all the stuff that's carried over, I said that I'd go over it implicitly. All the party members are there, all your inventory items as well as your gil, all your allied unit levels, as well as their job levels and their JP, all of their learned abilities, all of their equipment and set abilities, and their combat sets. And all this data will be available from the start of Chapter 1. However, at the very beginning tutorial, it will not be there. It just starts, you know, right at the beginning of the actual gameplay, I suppose. It says specific units may reappear simultaneously as guest units, but those cannot be recruited a second time during the course of the story. You will only regain Ramza's shout and steal abilities once you reach those specific chapters, so those will not be available from the start. So yeah, basically if you want to, you could take Thunder God Sid right into Chapter 1 and obliterate everything. It's completely up to you. This is going to be a whole lot of fun, and it's a great reason to jump right on back into Final Fantasy Tactics, as if you needed another reason. The game is fantastic. So yeah, I just wanted to like bring all this news to y'all and let you know about it. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this? Do you think that we'll be getting a sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics? Just let me know in the comments, because it's very interesting that they kind of shadow dropped this great update that they didn't have to do, but they went ahead and they did it, and that's some great news to me. Let me know down in the comments, and as always, have a good day.